So the first one's the one that you saw.
Yep.
I may have an opportunity to lease 2 40-acre hay fields, but they have no trees. What are y'all's thoughts?
So,
Lease as in graze?
Yeah, I'm assuming. And the immediate issue that they're addressing is the fact that there's no shade. I would make sure. Well, it also depends on where you are, where you're located, how hot it gets in the summertime. I'm assuming they're in a similar environment. We're just going to go with that at this point. I would say make sure that whatever you're raising is heat tolerant. Because regardless of what you're going to do, you're not going to have a ton of shade. Mm-hmm. You can't just plant trees and have them grow. That takes decades for them to actually throw enough shade that it's useful.
If you're leasing, they're probably not going to want you to plant trees in the middle of your hayfield.
You're just going to have to get creative.
There's different shade designs that people have made, like, what's that guy's name? Jordan Green in Virginia. He made one. He took a hay wagon chassis and big steel pipes with, like elbows or whatever, and then he ran just like a shade cloth over it, just so that they could get in underneath there and get some shade, and then he could just pull it around the pastures. Something as simple as if you drove like steel posts in the ground or something and wrapped like some kind of pole to it, and then just had some shade, 4 poles holding the shade up, or I don't know.
You're gonna have to get creative.
Yeah,
is what is really the bottom line. I don't know if you got any ideas.
And it also depends on how. Depending on how many you're running
and what
animals,
you're running,
and what you're running, you probably. I don't know the actual like math to it, but you probably need to make sure everything can get under the shade during the heat. So whatever you're.
And if it's cattle, it's gonna have to be a lot sturdier than if it's sheep.
Yep.
Just because cattle will rub on everything, and if a sheep rubs on something and it's 100 pounds, it doesn't have to be that built in order to not fall over. If a cow starts rubbing on it and it's 1,000 pounds,
that puppy's got to be strong.
That's gonna be strong. As Greg would say, stout.
It's gotta be stout.
You got any ideas as far as shade situations, like what to do?
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I've seen you could essentially make like a chicken tractor, but without like sides, and then have the shade cloth over it. Or you could take like hoops from like a greenhouse or something, and then make some kind of base and have wheels on it.
Yeah,
and just have.
We were at a farm walk in North Missouri, and a guy. And I'm not gonna say his name.
Yeah,
you know who he is.
Yeah.
He had a shade mobile, but he had it on runners. So basically, it was probably 20 feet long by like 8 or 10 feet wide, and it was on steel pipe. It had like runners and then a chain, and then it had these braces, and then a big angled frame that you could then take like the little those bungees with the balls on the end. There's a name for them.
I don't know.
Like tarp bungees or whatever.
I know what you're talking about.
And use like a shade cloth and like bungee that around. He like made the roof, the measure, or the tarp, the measurement of the roof, and then you could just bungee it to that top, and then that's strong enough that cattle could rub on it all they wanted, and it didn't phase it. And the nice thing about that, it's got a low center of gravity because it's not up on wheels. It's not going to tip over as well. And even if it does tip over, he's like, you just pull it back over. If like a wind rolls it and picks it up and rolls it, it's only going to roll it a couple times. It's not going to, it's not like it's going to
turn into a beach umbrella in a windstorm.
It's basically like a big box, like a framed box with a tarp on top. And so it like would roll on its side, and he'd just go over there and hook a chain to it with his four-wheeler and pull it back, tip it back over, and then you could just pull it, throughout the paddock. And then it could even go on the side of hills and stuff because, like you said, it wasn't on wheels.
Yeah,
that might be an option. You wouldn't be able to take it down the road probably.
Yeah.
Or you could cross the road, but you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, drag it very far.
And you wouldn't have to go that big either. You could go smaller.
Yep.
But that's an idea.
You just gotta get creative. That's the bottom line. Use what the resources you have.
Mm-hmm.
Understand your landowner and what they're going to tolerate, what they're not going to tolerate. And you're just going to have to play it by ear, figure it out, get creative. Little farmer ingenuity goes a long way. Who knows? Maybe you start making something and you start selling it to, your friends or whatever. If you got a really good situation for shade, you never know. Could be the next big thing.
Could be.